Okay. I just need to like get it written in my brain really quick because I had it good.
Oh, okay.
I have it written. I just need to like I don't have it written. I had it in my brain.
I wasn't sure if this was like a method thing that we had to. I don't know.
No, that's not part of it.
Okay. I was like, I'm here for it, but what are we doing?
Let's prep. Okay, hold on. All right, poke yourself in the eye.
Clear
myself an eye.
We're slap happy. Oh my gosh, no more eyeballs. I spent all afternoon editing that one.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, what? We didn't talk about eyeballs? I don't do eyeballs.
I know you don't do eyeballs.
I don't do eyeballs.
I listen
to it. Oh, hold on. Now I got something in my eyeball. You talk about it enough. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hello, fellow book readers and friends and family that we forced to follow us. Today we're talking about our February reads. Kenzie, take it away with your top read of February.
February, I read 12 books and listened to 12 books. My favorite out of all of them, I had a number of top books this month, but my absolute favorite this month was a classic, Pride and Prejudice. I had never read it, but I absolutely loved it. Loved the movies. It is the original enemies to lovers romance novel of Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet, and just their growth, and it's just a beautiful enemies to lovers romance, a classic. My number one for the month of February.
What did you rate it?
I rated it 4.75 stars. Ooh, which I can't even tell you why I didn't rate it 5 stars. So it's essentially a 5-star read.
Yeah. Okay. What a gorgeous cover. I've never seen that.
Isn't that so pretty?
Gosh. It's so pretty.
So pretty. I like the peacocks. Hey, Shell, what was your number one for February?
Hey. So for me, February, I read 14 books. Number one was Metal Slinger. Oh, there it is. By Rachel Snyder. I rated it a 4.5 out of 5. This is a book about a girl named Bryn who grows up on this tiny little like rock island in the middle of the desolate sea as an orphan, like she's unwanted. And the first time she sets foot on land, she runs into a dude and her entire world implodes. Basically, this is the book that everyone was looking for to get you out of that Onyx Storm book, angry hangover, whatever you want to call it. This is a romantic fantasy that is literally like fitting all the things that you need. Is it necessarily a work of literary art? No, but is it going to take you away to a different world, make you forget your friends, family, and responsibilities? Yeah, I think so. Get it, read it, get excited about it.
So excited. That's another one I just got, so I bought 15 books.
Let's see.
Forgot about that one. I actually have all of mine. My top 3.
All right. Do you want me to tell Mitch that you have a book addiction?
No, don't tell him.
Mackenzie, do I need to put you in therapy?
Some of them were for book club, and some of them were very pretty. The Deep End one. It's got pretty.
Poor Mitchell. Oh. Where did you get that copy of Pride and Prejudice?
The bookstore.
It's so pretty.
I got it from Barnes & Noble. I was trying to find
bookstore.
The bookstore.
So Ken's.
All right.
Tell me about the other top books that you read.
Top ones. Again, it was funny. My top 3 weren't hard. I think we were talking about this. My top 3 weren't hard to like nail down. But as we tried to go into like 4 or 5, it got trickier. And it's not like there weren't good books that I read, but it was just like these were such quality that it was hard to find.
Yeah. They were standouts.
They were standouts, which was kind of nice because I felt like January I didn't have as many standout reads. So my other one was, of course, Frozen River. My reread of Frozen River, which I still can't believe. I read it, like I said, I thought twice in 3 months, but it was like twice in 2 months, practically. And then the other one was one that Aria and I were reading together, A Little Princess. Another one I hadn't read, another classic, but it was one that I loved. You know, I loved the movie growing up, and it was so heartbreaking. But it was so fun to read it and to like read it with her and see it through her eyes, and for her to finally get to a point in the book too where she didn't want to put it down, and so she'd read ahead of me, and I was like, I don't know what happened. Like I got to go back and reread it now. So no, that was another good one.
What a cool thing that you guys share together, that love of books. She's a bibliophile.
She is a bibliophile. I know she's so mad she's not on here yet. But yes, these were, and I actually had all the physical copies. These were my 3 top ones
Nice.
for the month.
Solid choices, Ken.
What about you?
So for me, number 1, obviously Metal Slinger. Bloop. Number 1 by far. Number 2 was The River We Remember. I'm like looking around like it's right there.
It is right there.
No, that's a different one.
I know.
I'm gonna keep reaching for it. Sorry. Anyways, The River We Remember. Really great historical fiction book that is just kind of a little bit slower, so if you're not in the mood for like a book that you actually kind of have to pay attention to, but there's race, it's 1950s in the Midwest, and there's a murder, and it's a murder mystery with dark characters, and it was a good read. I really like that one. And number 3 is here it is. Surviving to Drive. This is a Formula One principal named Gunther Steiner. This is his book. Basically, like, he wrote it like a diary during an entire season of Formula One. And I listened to the audiobook as I kind of like read along with him. And it was so funny because he narrates the audiobook, which he is like, has this very interesting, thick, like Italian German influenced accent, and it's so funny, and he has so much personality. Every other word is the F word, and it's just so, if you know Formula One, it's so Gunther, but if you don't know anything about motorsport or Formula One or Gunther, it won't make sense to you. But for me, I absolutely loved it because it's the off season and I needed something to get me through. So those were my top 3. Those were my top 3.
Hi. Yeah. Now, is that, you said he's actual racer?
No, he is the principal, so he is the like head of the team. He picks the drivers and then tells them what to do and directs the races, and yeah. Can I read you the very first? Hold on.
Do you have a quote?
Yeah, it probably won't surprise many people that I'm starting my book with a swear word, but all I can say is, thank fuck that season is over. And fuck is spelled F-O-K.
Folk.
Thank fuck. Yeah, Gunther Steiner.
Nice.
My idol.
Huh. What other ones did you read this month?
I read a lot of I'm surprised you didn't put the Rhapsodic on there.
I didn't because I want to, well, for one, because I had 3 like spectacular reads. Like, how could these?
Would it have been on your top 5?
Yeah, it would have been on my top 5. It was, yeah, that was my 4, and then coming up with my number 5 was tricky.
Yeah,
tricky. Rhapsodic, I'm excited to physically read it and then dive into the rest of the series.
Yeah.
But you've listened to more than I have now.
I only finished the second book because I kind of wanted to like journey with you. The second one I liked better than the first one. Mainly because I like when books do like a introduction into the world that kind of, my favorite part of Onyx Storm was when they went to all the different islands that had different themes to them or whatever. Like, there's something so whimsical about it. And like in Divergent, when they go to all the different factions, in the second book.
Yeah.
There's something about that I like. I find that to be such a fun way to like learn about the world.
Well, you see so much about how it works and just like even their interactions and how they meet other cultures and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I like the second book better, because she's obviously in the other world, whatever. Otherworld, yeah. Which I found very interesting. It's like he's brought her to his world, and like, the end of the first book was real dark, and
I see, that's what I'm trying to remember. Again, listening to it, I feel like I listen to it and I enjoy it, but I don't retain it as much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm excited to get it right here. I'm trying to think. Oh, other ones that I read. Yeah. I read I'm pretty sure all the Finlay Donovan series, or listened to all those. Those ones were so entertaining. I think my favorite one, because there's 1, 2, 3, and then there's 3.5. There's a little novella of the nanny. I think the third one was my favorite. because it's her and the nanny, and they go to like a citizens police academy, which
I haven't read it yet. Don't ruin it.
I won't ruin it, but I'm like, that's the premise of that's where they go. Although I love the first one and just how they introduce and you meet her, and she's just so she's so ditzy and like all these things that you're like, it's just such a lighthearted one. You can so clearly see where it's going wrong the second she walks into it, and she has no idea until 75% of the way through.
It's just a train wreck, and it's one of those, it almost feels like Mr. Bean, where he just like falls into like Mr. Bean if he became Sherlock Holmes accidentally.
Yes.
And he's like, I solved the crime. You're welcome.
It's all solved.
Did you guys not get there too?
You solved it together?
Yeah.
Also read Gillian McAllister, Just Another Missing Person.
Oh, yeah.
That one was pretty good. I did like a immersive read where you listen and then read, like follow along in the book. But that was a good, I mean, they're good just like mystery.
Is she the one that did Right Time,
Wrong Time, Wrong Place? Bless you. Wrong Time, Wrong Place. Yep, she did that one. And then I finished, I know we were kind of talking about this when I finished The Wedding People.
I'm so sorry.
All
that
good.
Really felt good though. I sneezed my soul out.
Solid. Yeah, The Wedding People was another one that I know that you have listened to as well. Oh, you froze.
Yeah.
That was a surprising one.
Yeah. Do you have what you rated it there?
Let's see. I rated it Wedding People 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I think that's probably about what I might have been even like a 3.25. I don't even know. I was probably right about there too. Mm-hmm. I was very underwhelmed because of there was so much hype around that movie.
So much hype. And it was, I mean, from the beginning, the first chapter, and you find out her big issue, that was not.
Yeah, that's like a weird hook, essentially. But then I felt like that issue resolved way too quickly.
I will say I did like her growth throughout the story, but it wasn't, but it happened so quickly. It wasn't realistic.
Yeah, I agree. It didn't feel realistic. It felt, Yep.
And then other than that, I read a Brene Brown book. It's called, I thought it was just me, but it's not. It's all about shame. It's all about shame. Super uplifting.
I read a lot of high fantasy, actually. I know. So books that are a solid, probably 500-600 pages at least. Lots and lots of character and world building. There was one called The Assassin's Apprentice. It is the first of a 9 or 12 book series. I know. But I can understand why it's so good. She does a really great job of developing these characters, and it's an interesting world, and so I can see I would want to read more if I had time, and if that was And then there's an author called John Gwynne, which he is, I don't know if he's from Scandinavia, Norwegian areas, but he writes kind of these Viking influenced great epic fantasy stories.
Oh, cool.
And so I read 2 of his novels. One of them is set kind of in more that Viking, and these gods are dead, and then there's these basically sellswords that are all trying to get to the god bones because it's where money and power is, and then there's this everyone's out for vengeance of some kind, and everyone's they're warriors or training to be warriors, and it's a lot of political intrigue. He does fun world building where you have 3 different characters, or most of his books, of the 2 that I've read, where you have 3 different characters and you're following each of their storylines, and somehow they intersect, but you don't understand or see it at the beginning. Yeah, so, and it kind of builds the world more, I feel fully almost. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then the other book was another epic fantasy where it involves kind of I don't want to say ogres, but there's demons and flying angel creatures and stuff. So a lot more the fantasy element. But and then I read Ellen Hildebrand. I did read one Christmas book. Aww. Because I finally got it on my Libby app, and I was like, who cares? It can be Christmas in February. Long. Yeah. It's The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. It's another one that had a lot of hype over like the holiday season. Didn't live up to it for me. Not it for me. Not it for me.
All right.
But you know what? Maybe next season you'll enjoy it. I don't know. I don't want to.
It just depends on the season. Maybe you're just not in the Christmas spirit.
That's totally it.
In February.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, so yeah, those are. I mean, I didn't read any that like really, because like these fantasies were like 24-hour reads. You know, like
Yeah.
audiobooks and stuff. So it's very, very dense things, and that's why like Rhapsodic was my palate cleanser, if you will.
Another fantasy.
I know, right? I cleansed my palate from high fantasy with just some regular romantasy.
Just to know.
But
Throw
you
that
know,
in there.
Ellen Hildebrand, I generally really like her books.
Uh-huh.
Right? They're really good, like fictions that kind of just like are quick but have a decent story and character base that you can like get lost in.
Yeah.
This one that I chose, Winter in Paradise,
Was not the Winter in Paradise.
honestly, I think I gave it like a 3.5 or 3.75. Like, dog,
Are her normally 4.5 stars for you?
Not 4.5, but like a solid 4. And it was just like the characters felt very thin, and it was like she was relying on the plot to carry this. Not that you don't want the plot to carry the story, but it was like, but then the characters were too thin to support this plot, and like,
that's too bad.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, her books are not any of my favorites. So.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed them, but they're not anything like.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out of my way to read, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
What kind of books do you got coming down the pipe for March?
Oh gosh, I've got one that is about 400 pages that I have to finish by tomorrow because it's a library book.
How far into it are you?
After I bought 15 books this week, I went to the library and found a couple more.
Oh, sister.
So I'm excited to read it, but I've just been so tired at night that I go to read and it's like flat on my face.
It's watched you drool into your books.
Yes, Lorraine. It's the one that wrote Big Little Lies. So it's the Here One moment.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody gets on the airplane and starts predicting like, you're gonna die from heart attack at 85, and so she tells everyone on the plane. So like I said, it sounded a lot like The Measure, and I was like, oh, I really want to read it, and it's intriguing so far because I want to see what's gonna happen. But I am about 50 pages in, and I've got 350 to go tonight, so I can turn it in tomorrow.
Is 10 o'clock.
I know. What else do I have? The Great Gatsby. I've got Midnight Library and our other Nickel Boys. Got a number. Still listening to James. It's good, but it's not like an easy romance listen where I can just have it on in the background. I feel like I gotta focus a little bit more.
So. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I am working on the ARC book, House of Blight. It's when I actually am like sit down to read, like this morning I woke up at 4 a.m, couldn't get back to sleep, and I was like, don't mind if I do.
I read.
Pick up my book. I read like at least 2 chapters easily, and then I was like, Shelby, you're kind of falling asleep. You probably should sleep a little more before you have to work. So, and then what else do we have? I'm gonna read a couple different F1 books. That way I can get ready for the season to start.
Ooh, fun. That's not the F1 guy.
Yeah, actually I have another one with, so it's his second book because he got fired. And then he wrote
times.
What's that? You would think so. So, you know, the Netflix show Drive to Survive.
Yes.
Surviving to Drive is the name of his book. Play on words there. You see what he did? People would say that he is the star of Drive to Survive because he is just so entertaining and so much fun that they like follow him a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a winning team, but everyone's like, I want to support them. But anyway, then he has another book, and then I have another Formula One book.
All these different, like, not genres even, but like areas that I just didn't even think about. Like I saw somebody posting that their book club had read all these like cowboy romance novels, and then I went to Target and it's like lined with cowboy romance novels, and I'm like,
Those
I
are big right now.
didn't even think about that. Everyone's over the collegiate hockey and onto cowboy.
See, the thing, I don't know. See, a lot of these are just straight. So, like, the one of that cowboy series that I think you're probably talking about, it's just a lot of smut.
I figured it's like any,
Yeah.
like our Ruinous Love series. They're just all schmut.
At least the Ruinous One Love, like, series have, like, murder. I don't, murder.
I've got nice little clips of us talking about how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's just too many good books.
I know. Too many good books, too little time. All right, y'all. So, those are our top 2 reads. Comment below with your top read of February, and we can talk about it.
Thanks for listening to us.
Boozy.
Gosh darn it. Boozy.
Bibliophiles.
I feel like I'm like doing Grease Lightning.